Hello everyone, it's me, the Cannabis Reviewer. Today I want to show you on this video my GROWSS system and the changes that I made to accommodate the BME280 that we talked about in the last video. So let's go ahead and get connected to it. Sorry for the noise of the fan, I'm using an old computer. Apologize for that. Let's go ahead and pull this up. First off, I want to give out a shout to Matt Hawkins. This is his code he wrote. I'm using his BME280 script. Looks like a lot of people use this script. It's a very, very good script. He's done a lot of work to try to take the data sheet and apply it in here to make sure that it does exactly what it needs to do. It oversamples. There's a lot going on. Thank you so much though. So that's what I used for my script. Now let's go ahead and go straight up to the code. By the way, I'm using CodeOSS, which is a port of Visual Studio Code for Microsoft, and it's really one of the best IDEs out there, to be honest. I sure like it. I think it's really good. With this code, I didn't add anything extra except for what I needed to add for the BME280. We're not going to do the moisture sensor yet until I get this working and get this calibrated. Right now I'm doing some calibration on it. So we're taking data and we'll get the calibration set, and then I'll be able to actually bring it into the code and use it as part of the control and alarm system. So quick stuff about the code. I have to turn this on for one. This is my debug mode. And when I turn this on, this will turn on printing capabilities for on the terminal, so I can see the data values of the temperature, and if any of the scripts get done, that lets me know, or any of the functions get done, that lets me know. I have a lot here. I'm not going to go through everything. You can kind of look at them and kind of figure email, text, LEDs on the front, the LCD that's on the front, if I'm going to save the file or not, am I going to control the fan or not, am I going to control the humidifier or not, am I going to control the light or not. So you get all that. Okay, so this is all the same, this is all the same. If you want to get more in depth on this, you can check out my GROWSS website, or you can check out my GROWSS, of course you're on the GROWSS YouTube page, but my GROWSS website has some of the code. You can look at my SourceForge page actually as well, and that'll help you understand the code. On the GROWSS website, I also go into how I built the grow box, put it together, designed it, costs of parts, and I got kind of crazy on it. But there's also code. But definitely go to the SourceForge page if you want to look at my code. I don't have this code up there. I have the code that's been working, but I don't have the newest code up there. So okay, so anyway, we'll go back to this. Originally, I had a module called get, a file that I called get, and it used to be get temp was the function call, and because I only had one temperature sensor, I just got it for one. Now that I have two temperature humidity sensors, I separated them into two functions. So this is getting the DHT22, and this is getting the BME280. So I get both of them now. And I'm doing this basically to set the baseline of the high and lows, so they're not zeros. If the power shuts off and we reboot, they don't default back to zero. They at least go to where we're at now. The rest of this is the same. It's all the same. I put in hooks here for these are for my Blynk mobile app, and these are the channels that it sends the data to on the widget. So on the widget you'd say, oh, I want to look at virtual number 34, virtual 35, whatever. And this, I've identified what data I'm going to pass to those channels here. And basically it's pre-configured now to know that to turn these channels on to get ready to be used. This is the main code. The only difference here I would say is, well, before I do that, here's the debug to kind of show you what I'm doing. So if the debug comes on, I'm going to get information like this. Otherwise you don't see it. Anyway, so we'll go down through here, and here now we're getting the temperatures again, and humidity, and in this case also pressure for the BME280. This here is what, now since we're in the main program, every 20 seconds, this is what reads those values. Every 20 seconds gives me the latest value. I pass them to the Blynk apps widget based on their channel. The rest of this is pretty much the same. So, like I said on the get, let's get back to the get here. This is my get module. And so now I have both for DHT, and I can, with the DHT, with both of them I convert, they come out in temperatures of centigrade or C, so I convert them to F, Fahrenheit, because that's where I'm at. This here is my, I round it up, and this is actually my configuration constant equation that I used based on the calibration data that I took. Same goes for humidity, calibration constants, rounded off to 1 decimal point. But here's the different one. Here's what we're doing here. This is the 280. And this is basically just grabbing that information and putting them in those variables. No calibration yet, because I'm doing the calibration, so you won't see any calibration constant. You will see it be converted to Fahrenheit, and I round all three of those values to 2 decimal places. That's mostly what the changes were for the get module. The rest of it's pretty much the same, so we won't go through all of that. Back to this. That's basically all I do, is either pass it to the Blynk app or pass it Blynk to the terminal for debug right now. I do not have it for controls yet or anything else. Didn't want to go that far until I get it working and I can confirm that it's working properly and accurate. So that's my code. So let's look at it now. Let me save it first, because I've turned on debug mode, and we want to see what, I want to show you what the data looks like, and then I'll turn it back off to run it. Blynk server. First, you got to run the Blynk server for the mobile app, and this is if you want to do a local server. You can also go through their online server, but with the local server, you have a hell of a lot more control. So I just installed a local server on the Raspberry Pi. Works really well. Very happy. One of the things you can do is you can adjust the amount of money the widgets cost on the Blynk app. The widgets cost not real money, but a fake money. But if you run out, then you got to go buy more of the tokens or whatever you want to call it. But if you do your own local server, you can just say, hey, I want to be 10,000, whatever, and it doesn't cost you any money. So, and I get what they do. The reason why they do that is because they got to pay for the server and all of that. So, no, I'm not complaining about it. I just, for me, since I have the capability and knowledge, I just went ahead and rolled my own. Use it, and it's open source, and they don't mind. So it's perfect. Okay, let's Control C this. Show you the code. First, we acknowledge Blynk app's running. Give them props. And then my splash screen will come up showing what it is, and then what we grow. You can put anything in there. That's what I put. Obviously, with the system, you can grow anything. But that's what I'm growing. And then it shows you the name and the version. Now it's getting ready to go through and start collecting data. And in just a second here, a few seconds, it's going to start spitting out data. Here's the beep. Beep says that everything's working right, and we're good to go. And now we're collecting data. It's going to collect a bunch of data and then spit off a table. And we'll get back down to it. What I want to show you here, though, this here is the DHT22 temperature and humidity. I'm not sure how accurate those are. I've been doing calibrations, and they've been off a little bit based on my good old-fashioned mercury temperature thermometer. This is a BME280, and you can see those are way off. Temperature, humidity, pressure. Well, we don't know if they're way off. I can tell you the humidity isn't off by much based on my calibration so far. I've got the calibrations for humidity done. I just haven't entered them in. And I can tell you this is pretty accurate. I'm really impressed with the pressure. This is off probably 15 degrees right now, give or take, I think, 10. I'm still doing calibration on that. We'll get that set up properly. So it is reading, and so we can look at these values, 53, 34, 29, and we go back, and it's still taking data while we're talking here. 52, 34, 29, 52, 37, 29. So you see it's definitely taking data and working right along. So that's the data being taken. Next step for me is to finish the calibrations, put in the calibration equations, and turn it back on, and then monitor the calibrations to see if they actually work in the real world, and the temperature and humidity stays where they need to be within reason. There's a plus or minus 2% error on humidity, I believe, and a plus 1% on the temperature. So you're talking 2-degree swing either way, and you're talking 4 degrees, what I say, plus 2, so 4 degrees swing on the humidity. So you can't, it's not going to be accurate. Nothing is. Even the expensive ones aren't that accurate, but it's accurate enough for what I'm doing, definitely. So anyway, hope you liked the video. Hope I didn't get too nerdy or too long with it. Sorry about the fan noise, like I said. But, hey, I use old shit because I don't want to spend any money, and if it works, it works. Although I think I may be upgrading soon. The fan noise starts to gets to be annoying after a while. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. This is the Cannabis Reviewer. Hello, it's a Cannabis Reviewer. I'm back. I wanted to show you this Blynk app. If you've looked at my other videos, you've seen this Blynk app before, so this is all pretty much the same stuff, showing my temperature and humidity and the high and lows and the alarms. Soil's dry a little bit. I can't really water it till the morning, and it's not really working that well. I got to replace the soil sensor. I think it's got corroded and gone bad. That's why you buy more than one. They're cheap. And I've had the power off, working on the code off and on, so my data here is going to be kind of wacko looking. It's back up and running again. So go all the way down here to the bottom, and this is where I just threw it at the bottom right now until I can get it calibrated and I'm confident that it's going to work properly. The left one here on the top here is the temperature, and the right one is the humidity. So 59 degrees temp and 70% humidity, just similar to what you saw on the debug screen. They've moved a little bit, and it's nice to see that humidity go up. I'd love to see it in the morning at 75. It'd be fucking awesome. Temperature still is what it is. We'll see. And I put in highs and lows, so I can keep an eye on that. And then at the very bottom is the current pressure in inches, which is pretty damned accurate. So I'm pretty happy with it. This is the Blynk app. Once I get it all configured and calibrated, I'll move it up to here. Probably put it in here above the soil moisture. And then I'm going to add another soil moisture, so the density is going to go away. So that'll be where one of them is, and the next to that will be, I'll move the soil shit around and reconfigure it basically. And I will get rid of the density, probably density and soil moisture graphs. They don't really matter that much. I don't use them that much. The humidity and temp, man, I use all the time. But I'll clean that up. That'll be a future. Right now, let's get the BME280 working properly. Get it integrated into the control system and the alarm system and the Blynk app properly. And then we'll worry about the next phase. Always break it off into small chunks. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This is a Cannabis Reviewer. Please subscribe, click the bell, like, and post a comment if you enjoy the videos or you have something to say. Really appreciate hearing from everyone. I consider this community, like I've said before, and hope everyone enjoys what I do. Anyway, Cannabis Reviewer, gonna sign off here, and I'll see you on the next video. Happy smoking!